All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning on our first session of Ignite on this beautiful Monday morning. Um, I am just going to go through kind of the rules of engagement as we go throughout Ignite, rather. So, for those of you who might not know who's speaking, this is Erin Duckworth. I'm your team leader of the Market Center, and I always enjoy kicking off Ignite by teaching the first session. So thank you guys very much for being willing to learn and grow your businesses. So with that, you guys now know who I am, and we're going to go throughout the day. We're going to take different breaks. Certainly it makes it a little bit easier since we're on Zoom for you guys to be able to go grab a refill of your coffee, use the bathroom, whatever it is you need to do. We do ask that if you can, keep your videos on. I know you can't see my face right now because we've got the PowerPoint up here, but we want this to be very participatory. So just know that we will have some break times built in here and things of that nature. So with that being said, it looks like there are 7 of us on the Zoom right now. I'd love for each of you to just introduce yourselves and, give the rest of us a little bit about yourselves. Are you new to the business? Have you been in the business for a while? And what are you hoping to get out of Ignite? Some of you may not necessarily know what you're hoping to get out of Ignite because maybe perhaps you are brand new and you just don't know what you don't know yet. But let's go around and just real quick introduce yourselves. Tell us whatever you want, a little bit about yourselves, and then we'll go from there. Who wants to start?
I guess I'll start. My name is Rochelle Baldwin. I currently reside in Lakeville with my husband of 24 years. It'll be this year. 2 boys, 2 dogs, a cat and a grand dog. I am just new to the business, just getting in. I've always been interested in real estate, so it's always been kind of something in the back of my mind. Took some time off from my primary job due to COVID. And so while I was off, I figured I'd jump in and tackle a dream prospect of mine. So I am very new. I'm hoping to just get a lot of information so that I can jump start the real estate world. And I know nothing, so I am eager to learn. That's about it. Oh, I've been in Minnesota for 7 years, so I'm not like a person who's been here forever. So I know my immediate area, but sometimes when people say, oh, I live out in somewhere, I'm like, I don't know where that is. So yeah, I'm not a native, but 7 years is a decent amount of time.
Awesome. Thank you, Rochelle, and welcome. And I was brand new. I can relate to you a little bit. I was brand new to Minnesota when I was brand new to real estate. And so there were a lot of places that people would mention, and I had no clue where they are. And one of the great things about real estate is you learn very quickly where all of the different cities and small towns and whatnot are. So that'll be kind of exciting, I think, for you as you get to know some of the areas more, because as you guys know, we're licensed in the entire state, right? So it really is up to you as to how far, where, and when you'll travel to service a client. So thank you, Rochelle. Who's next? Who wants to?
I'll go next.
Hi, Pick.
Hi, my name is Pick Che. I'm also very new to real estate. I live in Rochester, Minnesota, and I've actually lived here for, 22, 23 years now. I have 4 beautiful children, and yeah, I just wanted to also jumpstart my career, and hopefully I'll learn a lot from Ignite. That's why I'm here, and I'm excited. That's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Pick. Excited to have you with us.
Thank you.
All right, who else do we have? Good morning, Rachel. We can see your beautiful face now that your camera's on. How are you?
Hello, I'll just go next. Well, I'm usually awake right about now. So I just got out of the shower and yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Sorry. As far as real estate and stuff, I'm just brand new. It's been kind of a thought in the back of my mind for a long time. And so I decided, why not try it? Last year, my goal was to get licensed or certified. So I did. And so here we go, I guess. Getting out of Ignite, maybe a client? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. Born and raised in Byron, left Rochester for college. Now I'm back. So yay.
Well, we're very excited that you're joining us this morning. So welcome and thank you.
Yeah.
All right, who else do we have?
I'm George.
Morning,
well,
George.
Yeah, I know you very well. You know me very well. I've been with, I started with you actually, right? So
Yeah.
it's almost more than 2 months now. I'm also like Rochelle, I'm also new to this place. But I'm looking forward to ignite my career with Erin.
Excellent. We're excited that you're joining us, George. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be with you, and you're a good teacher. Let me just admit that, a wonderful teacher.
Well, thank you, George. You're too kind.
A good team leader as well, a very inspiring, 24/7 available, and always jump into things, and very adventurous and very prosperous, and the mother of a senator. What else? You ask anything, Erin has. So.
Well, can I just carry you around in my pocket all day long, George? That is some amazing affirmations, and I certainly do not feel worthy, but greatly appreciate it. You're too kind.
Yeah, I will always remember I joined KW simply because of you, because you inspired me, and I'm there. I'm trying to learn still. I tried, but I'm still trying. I couldn't do any closing yet.
Well,
I need your blessings.
Yes, absolutely. And Ignite, when we employ and really take hold of what you guys are going to learn over the next 4 weeks, that should result in an appointment. That should result in some business for you. So I'm excited for you to take part, George. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Erickson, it's so nice to see your face. How are you this morning? You're muted, just in case you didn't realize it. And the mute button looks like a microphone. So it's either going to be at the top or the bottom of your screen. Can't find it. That's okay. That's all right.
In the lower.
No worries. Can you hear us? If you can hear us, give us a thumbs up. Okay. Excellent. All right.
The lower left-hand corner, if there's a little mute button, if you scroll all the way down on your computer and all the way to the left, the furthest you can go, you'll see a mute, and yours is going to have a red line through it. If you click that, you'll be able to unmute. Lower left.
All right. Well, if you figure it out, Jeff, while we're going along, feel free to pop in anytime and say hello. We're just glad that you can hear us and you can join us. So it's
Hey,
good.
Erin. Morning, guys. I'm just getting ready in the bathroom, so my video's off. This is Lisa. How are you guys doing this morning?
Good, Lisa. Thank you so much for getting this all set up for us.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to try, I think that you can hover over Jeff's picture, and there's a little option to ask to unmute, and then he should get a little prompt on his screen that says that you're asking to unmute.
Oh.
If that doesn't work, we can move on from the mute thing.
Okay. Well, I sent it, so we'll see if it works.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for that little tip there. I didn't know that existed. Okay. So moving right along, guys, thank you for all the introductions. I'm super excited to have you all on here. I can tell you a little bit about, oh, Jeff, you're unmuted. Oh, no, you're not. Maybe your volume's not up. Check your volume. I've done that before. While he's figuring that out, Jeff has been in the business for a while. He works with a local builder, and they're in the process of, starting a new development. And so if we can get, we get that figured out for him at some point in time, we'll let him kind of introduce himself. But I love it when we've got you know, not just the brand new agents that join us in Ignite, but the seasoned agents as well, because they have a lot of really great insight and information to share too. So hopefully we'll get that figured out for him, and we'll be able to, he'll be able to participate as well. So guys, I said at the beginning, you know, I want this to be very participatory. There's also I believe a hand at the top of your screen or the bottom of your screen, wherever your toolbar is. If you want to raise your hand because you have, you know, something that you want to add. It's hard when it's one person teaching the class to monitor the chat room all the time, but I'll do my best if I happen to notice or see, or if someone else does and you want to you know, bring up something that's in this, and we have a couple good mornings in there. Good morning in the chat room. By all means, go ahead. Also, there's always just unmute yourself and interject. Okay. So the goal of Ignite is that we are going to be every day building a database. We're going to be practicing scripts. We're going to be contacting clients and getting to know the market. So in 2 weeks, you guys will have established some core activities and habits that you'll use your entire real estate career. Or if you're someone who's been in real estate for a while, you're going to establish some habits that will help enhance your real estate career. So what we're going to do is go ahead and just launch into a lot of real estate agents when they first get into the business. You know, we ask them to think about, why did you want to become a real estate agent? What were some of your hopes and goals? And so I want you guys to just take a moment to envision your ideal life. What are you doing for the people around you that you care about? What charities would you support? How would you make the lives of yourself and everyone around you better? So just take a few minutes to think about that. All right, so, you know, it's important to establish your mindset and your goals from the beginning. Even jobs you love have moments where you struggle to find motivation. Wouldn't you agree? Has anyone ever been in that situation? You know, you love your job, everything seems to be going really well, but sometimes you just have one of those days, and it can be difficult to keep that motivation. So during Ignite, you're going to learn a lot about the ins and outs on how to find and keep business. And you're going to learn everything you need to know in order to make a deal. The more connected you are with what you want to do with your success, the more you'll find that success. So when you think about that big why you're in real estate, knowing that why is going to help keep you connected to why you're doing what you're doing. So I have a question for you guys. Has anyone ever heard of a limiting belief? Raise your hand if you've ever heard of a limiting belief. Okay, so most of you have heard of that and understand what it means. Limiting beliefs are ways of thinking that hold us back from success, right? And as participants that go through Ignite, you guys might catch yourself thinking things like, I don't have time to devote 3 hours a day to lead generation, right? That's something we're going to talk about. Henry Ford has a famous quote, if you think you can do a thing or think you can't, you're right. So it all starts with that positive mindset and that positive mental attitude. Because Henry Ford knew that your mindset is one of the factors that determines your success. As you go through Ignite, you're going to look for ways look for the ways rather that are limiting your own success and remove those barriers you're putting in your own way. We're going to remind each other and hold each other accountable to connect to our goals, our big why. And then as Gary Keller says, we're going to push through those in order to achieve our goals. Okay. So keep your big why in mind as we go through Ignite. All right. So you guys should have a participant guide. And I want you to turn to page 4 in your participant guide. Here's the secret to being successful, a successful real estate agent. You guys ready? There's no secret. It's simple, not easy. And you will hear Gary Keller often say that success leaves clues. So we know exactly what successful agents do every day. All we have to do is follow those clues. So every day agents do 2 types of activities. And do you guys see, do you have the graph on your participant guide? Is it the same thing that you see here on the screen? Give me a thumbs up if that's a yeah. Yep. Okay. So every day, real estate agents do 2 types of activities. They grow their business, and that's what you're going to see on the left-hand side. All right. And then they run their business. So these are the activities that will help you achieve your big why. Every time you do them, know that you're doing it to achieve the life that you want. So the things that we do to grow our business are things like lead generate for buyers and sellers. And then hopefully from that lead generation, we're going to schedule seller listing presentations in order to get listings, buyer presentations in order to have buyers that want to consider working with us. And then we're going to preview real estate. Okay. What Gary Keller will always say is every single day you need to be working on growing your business. The running of the business is what sometimes gets in the way of us growing the business. Because we get a piece of business, then, oh my goodness, we have to start marketing the listing. We have to start showing houses to buyers. Oh my gosh, we've found a house, so now we have to negotiate contracts. Oh my goodness, our offer got accepted. Now we have to manage that transaction all the way to closing. And then you have to manage vendor relationships with inspectors and lenders and things of that nature. So don't let the running of the business as part of real estate get in the way of growing your business. And that's why Gary talks about doing lead generation as the very first thing that you do in the day. You do it every day. Have you guys ever heard, I'm probably gonna butcher this, but they say eat the frog in the morning, right? The one thing that you don't want to do or that you look the least forward to doing, you want to do first thing in the morning and get it out of the way. And who wants to take a guess at what part of the real estate business people enjoy the least? Who wants to be brave and take a guess? Rochelle.
Lead generation, making
Yeah.
calls.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. That is the least fun for most people. It's the most intimidating for most people, even for folks who have been in the business a while. If I haven't, I've stepped out of really the day-to-day real estate activities when it comes to, deals, right? Because I'm in a team leader capacity. So it's been a while since I've called through a database or reached out to my sphere with regard to buyers and sellers. Now my lead generation has changed as a team leader because now I call other real estate agents, right? To talk to them about Keller Williams. But if I were to have to call through a sphere because I don't know, maybe my husband, needed some help with it. Even though I've been doing it for nearly 20 years, it's going to take me a minute to find my groove. And it's probably going to take me a minute to find the confidence and the courage, right? To get back on the bicycle, so to speak, and start pedaling again. So, lead generation is going to be likely the most anxiety inducing, the least fun. I'm making this really attractive for you guys, aren't I? And the most, anxiety producing activity, yet we know that it's the key to a successful business, right? We also know, I'm sure you guys have likely heard that we don't grow inside of our comfort zone where we all want to stay and not have to do the lead generation. So growth doesn't happen inside of your comfort zone. So what that means is you're going to have to push yourself. You're going to have to get comfortable being uncomfortable in order to be able to find success. Okay. Any questions around that at all? All right. So the goal of our time here is to model what successful agents do every day. And through Ignite, we're going to show you how to do it. Guys, it's not any more complicated than what you see on the screen right there. Simple, not easy. You'll hear us say that a lot. It's a Keller Williams mantra. I'm sure we're not the only one. We're not the only company on the planet that has that mantra. But what Gary Keller means when he says that is the activities that we need to do on a daily basis are very simple. Picking up the phone and calling someone you know and having a conversation with them is not a difficult task. That's very simple. The not easy part comes in when you have to make sure that you're doing it every day. It's the consistency. That's the difficult part, right? The simple part is picking up the phone and making the call. The not easy part is doing it consistently, because you're going to have days where you make lots of connections and you feel like you conquered the day and you rule the world. And there are going to be other days where it's just a big fat goose egg, and that's going to likely get you down a little bit. So when you have those type of days, it's hard then to get back in the saddle the following day with the same sort of vim and vigor and excitement to make those phone calls. So we're going to equip you guys with some tools. We're going to equip you guys with some scripts that will help you on the good days and also the more challenging days. Sound good? Okay. You guys should have had access to, and I'm hoping that you, in the materials that Lisa sent you, were able to find, there's a script book. Were you guys able to locate the script book? Give me a thumbs up if you were. No. Okay. So we're going to plug along here. At some point, we are going to pull out the script book. Maybe what we'll do is we'll take like a 5-10 minute break. I'll let you guys locate it, have access to it, because we are going to be doing some scripting today. Okay. All right. So this is an overview of our agenda for today. We're going to talk about what is Spark. We're going to talk about start with your sphere. That's the next step. And then we need to know our tools in order to prepare us for success. And then we're going to recap the day with our ahas. Okay. So we build daily success habits through building a database, script practice, lead generation, and then contract practice. Do you guys know what I mean by contract practice? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. No? Okay. Yes, Jeff. He's our experienced agent. So contract practices, how do you write a purchase agreement? Oh my goodness. You found a client, you went and showed houses this weekend, and now they want to write. Oh my gosh, what do I do next? Right? So contract practice is optional. You guys are all likely, with the exception of Jeff, working with some kind of coach, a transaction coach, right? That is the person who is going to help you write your first contract, show you how to fill out those contracts. And then once you start to become more and more familiar with contracts, as you have questions, you not only have your coach that you can rely on, but we've got a broker that you can call and ask those questions of. And then as well as other agents in the market center who you get into relationship with, get to know, things of that nature. So there will be no shortage, let me assure you, there will be no shortage of people for you guys to reach out to when you need that help. Okay. Here's the caveat for the newbies that I want you to hear, however. It does behoove you when we have contract classes or when we have folks that are teaching things like listing presentation, buyer consultation. It does behoove you for you guys to attend those, even if you don't have a seller right now, even if you're not working with a buyer right now. Because even though we have a plethora of folks for you guys to be able to tap into when it comes to needing help, if it's Friday night at 8:00 and all of a sudden you've got to write an offer, you may or may not be able to get a hold of one of those folks, right? I mean, chances are you will, but it behooves you to take these classes and learn some of these things, prior to you actually needing them if you can. Okay. All right. Lisa has asked me to make sure that this is recording. And Lisa, I don't know if you're still on here, but when I click on the 3 dots to the right, it says pause recording, stop recording. So I'm going to assume that means we're recording. Oh, and Lisa also says, excuse me, guys, for the script book, The script book is in the email that she sent you on Friday as a part of the toolkit, or you can find it on the KWPR Ignite closed Facebook group that you were invited to. And from the closed Facebook group that you were invited to, it will be under the files section. Okay. So at some point when we take a break, I'll have you guys either bring that up so that you can access it on your computer, or better yet, print it out if you can. Okay. Because we're going to be using that later. All right. Sorry, guys, momentary distraction. My phone started buzzing. All right, so this is a video that we're going to be playing from Gary Keller that welcomes everyone to Ignite. This video should help spark some thoughts on what will be useful in conversation you're having, or that we're having rather, as a group once the video is over. So we're gonna watch the video, it's about 90 seconds. And then we're gonna have some thought-provoking questions afterwards. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. All right, make sure your volume's up.
I can't hear it.
Pick, you can't hear it?
No.
Can anyone else hear it?
No.
Oh, Lisa, are you on still by any chance? Okay, let's try this again, guys. Hang on. Give me a thumbs up. I'm going to start it again. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it this time, okay?
Hi, I'm Gary Keller. This course will allow you to get off to a fast start you can build on. Because if you repeated the principles every 90 days for a year, believe me, you have an awesome first year. And just as important, you would have built the foundation and momentum for your entire career. It is practical, realistic, and easy to apply. It's about the fundamentals that determine your level of success in the business of real estate. From our research with top agents, we have found that they too started their careers with these fundamentals, and they continue to do them along with their teams to this very day. And it's not hard. It just requires a little focused effort, a few hours every day. Now, there is really just one way to achieve the goal. It's lead generation. Other skills are important, yet without leads to work with, your skills won't mean a thing. Dealing with business never takes precedence over what? Finding business. Never. Research shows that top producing agents make lead generation their number one priority and the one thing they make sure they always get done. You can do this. And when you do, you will get the leads, the relationships, the experiences, the career, and the income that you want and deserve. Go get them, and good luck.
All right. Thank you, Gary. So who wants to take a stab at sharing what Gary says should be our number one priority?
Lead generation.
Lead generation. Absolutely. Guys, without a lead, we're unemployed. Look at it that way, right? Without a lead, we're technically unemployed. Okay, so our one and only goal every single day without fail should be to find a lead. Okay, doing activities that are going to help us find leads. So what does the video tell you guys about what you can expect from Spark? And by the way, I should probably put this caveat out here. So I've been teaching Ignite for years. Spark is new. They revamped Ignite, and it's now called Ignite Spark. So there may be a few surprises that we come across together as I'm teaching this, because this is the first time I've taught Ignite Spark. But what did you guys get from that video as far as what you can expect from Spark?
Success.
Success, right? We're going to give you the tools. What kind of tools do you think we're going to give you, and what do you think the result of those tools are going to be?
Well, what stuck out to me was the 90 days. If you work for 90 days each day on the lead generation, that your business will be successful. That was like a big takeaway.
Absolutely. What they say is what we're doing today. So the activities that we are working on today, the activities that you're going to be working on this week will show up 90 days from now, typically. Now, that doesn't mean that 90 days from now, it's going to take you 90 days to find your first lead or put together your first transaction. What that's saying is if you are consistent about your daily activities, and you're committed to the daily or to the 10-4 that we're going to talk about and promote during Ignite, that in 90 days, you're going to be busy. You're not just going to have a piece of business. You're going to be busy. In fact, I would venture to say that the goal for you guys is that within the first 2 weeks of Ignite, that you've got a piece of business, that you've scheduled some sort of appointment with a buyer or a seller. Okay. So I want you guys to look at this. I want you guys to look at this quote. Can you see it on the screen there? Nothing else about your business will have as big of an impact on it as the number of leads that you have. What does that mean to you guys?
Without leads, you are unemployed. Just like you said, there is no business without leads, without clients.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. What's on page 5 of your participant guide? I feel like I'm working a little bit in the dark here because I don't have a copy of your guys' guide. Can you guys tell me?
The next slide that you have, number 7.
Okay.
That's what I have on my page.
Okay. So it's this.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So Ignite is 4 weeks where you're going to learn the foundations for success, including your daily success habits. And we're going to talk about those today. Okay. Your daily success habits are the things that successful agents do every day. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're trying to mirror what we know has created success for agents. Okay. So that's going to include the lead generation that we're talking about. And the first 2 weeks are called Spark. Spark is your incubator. Look at it as your incubator for success, where you're going to learn how to set a successful mindset, lead generation, and get the confidence of a seller or buyer in your first appointment. And remember, our goal is that in the next couple of weeks, you're going to set your first appointment. Okay. So after learning those foundations and developing some successful client relationships in Spark, you're going to move on to elementals to learn skills that you need to take to those appointments in order to achieve a successful closing. Okay. So, according to NAR, 66% of sellers and 41% of buyers find an agent through a friend. I always have such a hard time understanding why agents do not start with the people who they know, their sphere. I just shared that NAR says 66% of sellers and 41% of buyers find an agent through a friend. So why would you not start with your sphere, the people that you know, people who know you, like you, and trust you, versus starting with complete strangers? Your ability to convert the people that you know is always going to be much greater versus starting with strangers. Okay. So I want you guys all to take out your cell phones and I want you to go to contacts. Hold up your cell phone when you're there. Okay. So when you start with contacts, you'll see like it'll start with the letter A, right? And then what I want you to do, I'm going to turn on my camera here for a second. Okay. Can you guys see me? So your cell phone. So start with A. Now here's what I want you to do. I want you to scroll. Keep scrolling until you get to the very bottom. Keep scrolling on your cell phone until you get to the very bottom. And when you get there, there's going to be a number. There'll be a number before the word contacts. I want you guys to each shout out what that number is. Mine is 6,166. That's how many contacts I have on my phone. They say the average person has around 1,000. How many? That's 20 years of real estate business, guys. How many contacts are in your phone? Don't be shy, and there's no right or wrong answer. Just shout out the number.
20.
20. Okay,
440.
440.
442.
How
442.
about 700?
700. Excellent.
443.
443. We're gonna have to read Jeff's lips.
959.
959. Good job, Rochelle.
Lip reading.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, thanks for playing along with me. So those are the number of contacts that you guys have on your phone. Now just imagine if you take the, sorry, I have to turn on my video off because I distract myself. All right. Oh, I'm gonna admit someone here. Cindy's gonna join us. Welcome, Cindy. Okay, so now here's what I want you guys to imagine. So take the number in your phone. Let's just say that it's 1,500 for an example. Multiply that by 6%. Okay, this number will give you the average number of real estate actions that will be happening in the next 12 months within your sphere of influence. On average, about 6% of the people that you know are going to do some sort of real estate transaction in the next 12 months. Okay, so then once you have that number, multiply it by your average commission in your marketplace. Let's just say that's $10,000. All right. This number will highlight the path to the amount of money that you potentially could make just from the people that you have in your phone today. Just from the people that you know. Okay. So again, guys, you're going to hear us say this time and time again. It's simple, not easy. Start with the people that you know. Okay. All right. When we start building our database, it makes sense to start with that sphere of influence. All right. So in this section, we're going to define our sphere and we're going to practice reconnecting with the people in that sphere. Okay. So your sphere, what is a sphere? It's the people that you've met in one way, shape, or form. It's, the people that you went to college with, high school, grade school. It's people from church. It's the people from your kids' sporting events. It's the people from the gym. It's the people at the coffee shop. It's anyone who you've ever, come in any sort of contact with. Okay. So again, these are the people that already know you, trust you, respect you. Therefore, they're likely willing to help you in your real estate business because after all, people like to work with the people that they know, like, and trust. You've already established some sort of communication with these people in your sphere. Okay. So because of that, the contacts in your phone, the contacts that we all just looked at, are a good place to start. So I'm going to turn the tables on you guys, and I want you to think about something. Would you prefer to do business with people you know, trust, and respect, or would you prefer to do business with a stranger? How would you answer that?
Yeah, we feel more comfortable with people whom we know.
Right. Right. Even if I get oftentimes, and I fell into this trap as a brand new agent. Who's going to want to hire me? I'm brand new. Right. Well, first of all, don't start your, relationship by saying, hi, my name is Erin. I'm a brand new real estate agent. Like, we always have to be honest in our communications, but you don't need to lead with that. And as long as you are speaking with confidence and you've got the knowledge behind you, i.e. you've done your homework, guys, they're likely not even going to stop and pause and wonder how long you've been in real estate, as long as you come to the table prepared, right? So I think you all will agree, or have agreed rather, that if given the choice, you would rather do business with someone who you know, like, and trust. So doesn't it make sense that your friends and your acquaintances would rather use a realtor that they know and trust? Absolutely. 100%. Okay. So if, according to NAR, 66% of sellers and 41% of buyers found their agent through a friend, neighbor, or relative, or used an agent that they had worked with before, who do you guys know that you think might be going through a life change? Okay, let's talk about life changes. As a matter of fact, we're going to make this interactive here. Shout out some life changes that might cause someone to either buy their first home or sell a home. What are some life
Okay.
changes?
I have a friend who's actually going through a move right now. There's a life change.
Okay, and what precipitated that move, Rachel?
Work, a
Okay,
job change.
okay, so there you go. Job can be a life change, right? Whether they're on the downslide and they're getting ready to retire, or whether they're just getting started on their career and maybe they've recently received a promotion. So that's a life change. What other kind of life changes exist?
New marriage or divorce, relationship change.
Absolutely. Marriage or divorce. 100%.
New baby.
New baby. What else? What other kind of life changes are there?
Death, maybe.
A death. Yep.
Mhm.
It's another one. Oftentimes we'll get that phone call, right? Grandma's passed away, grandpa's passed away. We need to sell their property. What else? What are the kind of life changes there? How about when you've got someone graduating high school? Is that a life change? Right? Maybe they're the baby of the family. You're now suddenly going to be empty nesters. How about when COVID hit? Was there some job loss, or were there some folks who, maybe their careers got temporarily put on hold, and that perhaps maybe they weren't thinking about moving, but sort of caused, or created a conversation around, wow, when things like this strike, we have to be prepared and insulated. We really need to take a look at our finances. Okay. So there are all sorts of life changes constantly happening around us, constantly happening with the people who we know, whether, we know them very well, or whether we, know them because we see them at the gym every morning, right? So, think about that as you're doing your lead generation. Life changes. One of the things that I'm pretty consistent about, which is super easy, you guys, and doesn't cost me anything, is engaging with people on Facebook. And here's what I want you to think about. When I say engaging with people on Facebook, I don't mean sending them private messages and saying, hey, are you thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate? Or posting on Facebook, who's looking for a realtor? Like, I don't do those sorts of things. Here's what I do. Every morning I look and I see who am I friends with and whose birthday is it. And I'll just send them a message on Facebook, happy birthday. It's just a morning routine. It's super easy. It takes me less than 5 minutes every single morning. Okay. Or, again, you see a life change happening, someone celebrating an anniversary or a wedding or a birth. Someone's going through, a hard time and they're asking for prayers. Just engaging with people on that level. You don't have to say a thing about real estate, but what is that doing? What is that doing when you're engaging with people on things that are surrounding life events?
You're creating a connection.
Yes. Thank you for using that word, Rochelle. Connection is so important. You want to connect with the people that are in your life. It's just creating that connection. And, the hope is that when they get to a point to where there's going to be some sort of life change and they have a real estate need, because I'm someone who is really good about staying on their radar and staying connected, my hope is they're going to think about me if I've done my job right when it comes to a real estate need. Okay. So, what I want to encourage you guys to do at some point today, it doesn't have to be now, or actually, let's take a few minutes to do it right now. Take out a pen and a piece of paper. And I want you to just take a few minutes to think about people in your life who might be going through some kind of life change this year. Retirement, birth, getting married, a kid graduating, something along those lines. And I want you to jot down those people. We have to kind of train you guys how to think. I know that sometimes you're like, oh, I don't know. Like, really think about it. Start with your family. I have a nephew that's getting married in the fall. So he's going through a life change. I have a niece that's going to have a baby this summer. That's going to be a life change for her. I have a brother that actually just got a promotion at work. That's going to be a life change for him. Those are the sorts of things I want you to think about and jot down the name of the person, and next to their name, I want you to write down what you think that life change is going to be. Okay, does everyone have at least a couple people on that list? Give me a thumbs up. All right, now I want you to look at that list and I want you to ask yourself, is it possible that they could use your help sometime this year? Is it possible? It's possible. Maybe yes, maybe no, but it's possible. Okay? So it costs us nothing to call people that we already know, guys. It costs us nothing, $0. The only thing it costs us is our time because we already know them. It requires fewer touches and less effort to get them to want to help by giving you their business or referring friends because you already know them. You've already established that relationship. So it's less effort. Okay? The people who you haven't already met are going to take a lot more time and effort to convince them than those that you already know. So you see where I'm going with this? Start with the people that you know, like, and trust. Your sphere of influence is more than just friends and family. Okay, so is there a diagram that you guys can see on page 7? I think it says the waves. Is that your page 7? Because in one place on my manual it says page 7, and one place it says page 8.
Page 10 is the next slide.
It's called the waves. Looks like this, or like my camera's off. It says the waves, and it has, yep, that one. What page is that on?
It's on my 8.
8. Okay, page 8, guys. All right, so they say that the average person moves anywhere between 8 to 10 years. I would say that that's more like 3 to 7. Jeff, has that been your experience? You've been in the business for a while, 3 to 7? Yeah, okay. So right after a move, the likelihood that they will want to move again is at its lowest point. So do you guys see the dots on the rise, you know, where it looks like a mountain? Let's just assume that's someone's just closed, right? So then the next valley is right after they close on a property. That's the least likely time or the lowest point that they'll likely move. But over time, what they do is they begin to look at buying or selling. So you see the little slash marks that are kind of making their way up the mountain there on the peak. Those are from the lowest point after closing, they're starting to work their way back up to, there's probably going to be a life event that happens over the next 3 to 7 years that is going to create them or create the need for them to make some kind of move. So what I want you guys to do is, let's see, how many slash marks are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want you to take a moment and write a name next to each one of those slash marks. So add 5 to 7 people from your sphere to your wave model, or jot it down on a piece of paper if you don't have this printed out. So I want you to think about people who you know that have recently moved, who might be thinking about moving soon. And then who are the people that you think might be somewhere in the middle? Okay, we've got our folks on there. Now here's what I want you guys to think about next. Okay? How would it make you feel if your friends only called you if they wanted something from you, excuse me. If the only time someone called you a friend is when they wanted something from you, would you feel like they really cared about you?
No.
No, you'd feel like they want something from you, right? Do you trust people that you think care about you more with your money? Do you trust people who you think care about you more with your money?
Yes.
Yeah, of course, right? Do you want to talk to them and do business with them? Yeah, likely, because you trust them and you feel like they really do care. So you want to stay top of mind as the realtor of choice consistently, not just every once in a while you're going to call and reach out. Don't fall into the, hey, I'm calling today. Are you thinking about buying this year? If that's the only time they hear from you, once a year, twice a year, how likely do you think they're going to be to trust you or feel like you really care about them and what their needs are? So the goal is, and what you guys are going to learn throughout Ignite, are ways to consistently stay in front of your people so that when they are ready to buy and sell, you will be their first call. If you don't talk to them for 8 years after a deal, why would they call you first when they're ready to move? Right? I'll raise my hand. I was guilty of that, right? I didn't systematize people once I closed a transaction with them. I wasn't great about keeping in regular contact with them. I also didn't start my career at a company that, had the systems and tools that I have now at Keller Williams to be able to systematize. I want to be able to set it and forget it to a certain extent, right? Not forget it as in I don't want to not remember them, but we have smart plans within Command that you literally set your folks up on, and it will remind you with a series of staying in front of them of emails, of text messages, of phone calls. All you have to do is get them into your database and set them up on a smart plan. And guys, you just log into Command and it tells you what you need to do and who you need to reach out to and how. How empowering is that? It helps you stay organized. Okay. So even if a person has just bought or sold a home, stay in touch with them so that you're realtor of choice when they make their next move. You want to stay top of mind for referrals if someone knows someone who wants to move. I learned my lesson the hard way of always assuming that if someone just closed on a property, they're going to be there for that 3 to 7 years. I had a client who about a year after we closed with them got relocated, and I didn't stay in touch with them, and I saw their home go up on the market and I was so mad. But who do you think I was mad at? Mad at myself because I had done a poor job. I hadn't done a good job at all of staying in touch with them because I assumed because they'd only been in their home for a year that I didn't need to be reaching out. And now they're all set up on a systematized smart plan that helps me stay in touch with them, and I don't even really have to think about it. All right. There's our graph. Okay. So how do we stay in touch with our sphere? Have you guys ever heard of the Ford method? We're going to go over that today. So the Ford method it really is all about relationships, guys. And, folks will often say, Erin, what's the magic script when you call someone? And my answer is okay, Rochelle, we're going to role play here real quick. I'm going to put you on the spot. Okay. So ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, Rochelle. It's Erin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Erin?
I'm great. Guys, that's the script. You're just going to engage with people, right? And this could go a myriad of ways. Rochelle, oh my gosh, I've been so bad about keeping in touch. And I promised myself when the new year hit that I was going to be better about keeping in touch with people. How's the family?
Oh my goodness. I had the same revolution on that. The family's good. How about you? How are the kids?
They're doing good. They're busy. The grandkids, are the focus of most of our time and attention when when we're not working. So they're doing really great. And everyone, knock on wood, has managed to stay safe, throughout this whole COVID thing. How about you guys? Everyone staying healthy, safe?
Yes, yes, we are managing that as well.
Yeah, good, good. How's work going?
It's kind of slow right now, actually, but it's okay. How about you?
Yeah, hey, thanks for asking. Work's going really great. Despite the pandemic, we've managed to stay, thankfully, really busy with real estate. Hey, I know it's been a couple of years since you've closed on the house. I just thought I'd reach out today. I was in your neighborhood showing houses the other day, and I thought, oh my gosh, I need to give her a call. Working on any projects in the house? Could you use any kind of recommendations or referrals for, anyone in the trades, carpet people, tile, roofing?
I can't think of anyone, Erin.
Awesome.
No.
Well, will you do me a
Although, I kind of was thinking about moving actually. The interest rates are so low, and I've been here like, 6 years. Kind of thinking about moving out.
Oh,
So it's funny that you called today.
Perfect. Okay, so thank you for role playing. You did great. You're gonna be really good at this, Rochelle. All right, guys. So hopefully what you gleaned from that is it's not complicated. It is literally calling. Hey, how are you? Haven't talked to you in a while. Been thinking about you. Provide maybe some form of value. Come from contribution. Hey, do you need anyone? Or another script that I love to use is, hey, I was in your neighborhood showing houses the other day. Right now, guys, what is there a shortage of in the market? Inventory. There are 5 times more buyers than there are sellers right now in the market. Okay. So, hey, Rochelle, I was in your neighborhood the other day showing houses and it made me think of you. Gosh darn it. I'm so sorry that I've not been great about keeping in touch, but I have a very specific reason for my call today. I'm working with a buyer right now. They love your neighborhood. They want to be within a 1-mile radius of Cherry View Elementary. And we can't find anything on the market. It's crazy out there right now. Interest rates are at an all-time low. Homes are being sold in multiple offers. It's super competitive. Do you know anyone who's been thinking about selling? That's a super easy.
Me.
Guys. Yes, you. And even if Rochelle wasn't, do you think the chances are that she might know someone who is? So the Ford method, guys, is getting into conversation with people and just asking questions around family, asking questions around occupation. How's work going? Because if I ask them how's work going, and then I listen to them talk and fill me in on how work's going, what usually happens next?
They ask you about your work.
They ask you about your work, right? So start with family. How's the family doing? How's work going? Hey, I know that you love to, that you're in a adult league for volleyball. You guys still playing during the pandemic? How are you guys doing that? Or, whatever. You have to be familiar with these people. And the only way for you to be familiar with them and what's happening in their lives is to be consistently reaching out to them, right? So talk about family, occupation, recreation. Talk about what their dreams look like. Maybe you have a friend whose dream someday is to have a vacation home in a warmer climate. Jeff, I know don't you spend some time in Arizona? I feel like you do, maybe. Maybe one of their dreams is to have a second home in a warmer climate. Is that a conversation that, you might be able to help them with, or a dream that you might be able to help them with? Okay. So what time is it? It's 9 o'clock. We're going to take our first break. We're going to take a 10-minute break. So I want you guys to be back on at 9:10. And then we're going to start setting you up for calling some people in your sphere today. Okay. So let's take a 10-minute break. Come back at 9:10. Hey, Kelly, I know that you just joined us. We took a break, so we're going to be starting in a few minutes. I didn't want you to wonder why nothing was happening.
Am I working now?
Yeah, you're on. Oh, Jeff, you're working. Yay.
I just rebooted everything, so.
Okay, excellent. All right, we'll get started here in about 3 or 4 minutes,
Good
guys.
deal. Thanks.
Thank you, Aaron.
All right, guys. I'll give you a minute or so to come back. Just let me know you guys are back by turning on your cameras for me. Okay, let's get rocking and rolling here. You guys got your snacks, your refreshments. I got my coffee. All right. So we're going to practice calling our sphere of influence, but before we do, let's review the important rules regarding the do not call list. So there is a do not call content on page 9 of your guys' participant guide. Okay, and so you guys just want to be careful of and make sure that I would venture to say if you guys are calling people in your sphere, you're going to be okay when it comes to the do not call list because they're people that know you, right? You have a relationship with them. So when it comes to the do not call list, really you need to be more concerned with if you were, let's say, circle prospecting for an open house that you were going to hold, or, you know, calling expireds or things of that nature. You always want to cross-reference it with the do not call. I'll let you guys go, you know, look through that at your leisure. We're not going to spend a ton of time on that now. Just know that it exists. Know that it's important to check when you're making phone calls. Okay, so we're going to discuss starting to call your sphere to build your real estate business. So I want to ask you guys, what fears or hesitations do you have around calling your sphere? This is a safe place. You know, feel free to be as vulnerable and, you know, transparent as you are comfortable sharing. But what are some of your fears around that?
Mine is like you said earlier, when a friend gets a hold of you for anything that she may need and not really to actually have a conversation or connect with you. So I don't want to be that person is my fear.
Okay. And so pick, what do you think you can do in order not to be that person?
Not talk about me being in real estate right off the bat.
Right. And maybe just being better about getting in front of them consistently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Providing some sort of value, setting them up on a smart plan that consists of phone calls, text messages, emails, different ways of reaching out, right? And as you guys begin to build your businesses, or for those who have been in business for a while, if you haven't done this yet, and barring that, you know, the real world comes back to some sort of normalcy, then you can start building things into your real estate business, like client events or pie giveaways at Thanksgiving, different things that you can do in order to stay in front of your business. So we give away pies at Thanksgiving. We send out an Eventbrite. Our clients can sign up for, you know, a pumpkin or an apple pie. And then there's a day that we schedule at the market center where they can come between certain hours, or, you know, come into the office to just pick up their pie. And we don't talk about real estate at all, but they're coming to our real estate office. They're picking up a pie from us, a realtor. That is an excellent way of staying in front of people without just coming right out and talking about real estate or asking them for their business, right? So what other sort of fears or hesitations do you guys have about calling your sphere? Thank you, Pick, for sharing.
For me, I'm a texting person and I don't typically make phone calls to just shoot the breeze. So my concern is when I start calling my sphere, they're going to be like, why is she calling? And kind of the same thing that, how do you say her name? Pitch said the same thing. It's like, it's going to seem disingenuous to me from my side, my point of view, to be like, hi, how are you? How's the family? I don't normally do that. I just would be like, hey, how's it going on via text? So I feel like it's going to raise like, well, why is she calling? And then once I kind of get through, even if I go through the Ford, by the time I get to the, oh, and hey, how's work? Well, guess what I'm doing? I'm doing real estate. Do you know any, I just feel like they're going to be like, that's why she called. And it's going to seem disingenuous, that's my concern.
Okay. Thank you for being transparent and showing that. So a couple things that went through my mind as you were saying that. Okay. The first thing is then text instead, of making a phone call. Now, here's the challenge of texting then, if that's all you're going to do is, it's very hard to have a meaningful or a long conversation, right? Because most people just use text for the quick. I'll speak for myself. If I need to have a long conversation with someone, or it's a more detailed conversation, I'm probably going to pick up the phone and call them versus text, right? Text is for like, hey, running 10 minutes late, or, I'm sending them something funny or something funny happened, you know, and I just want to spend like a few minutes pounding out a text, right? So I would say if that's what you've been doing, Rochelle, and that's your comfort level, I would rather have you just, you know, communicate via text than you not reach out at all, right? The other thing I would say is, yeah, so if you haven't talked to someone in a while, it is going to be awkward. It may feel kind of weird. But what I would encourage you to do is just to push through that, because the first phone call might be a little awkward, might be a little weird. But if you then from that first phone call begin to be more consistent with the phone calls, they're going to be less and less awkward and less weird, right? Or perhaps what you do is you wait to start making the phone calls around times where it makes sense, like a holiday, right? So what's our next holiday? We're like New Year's and Thanksgiving and Christmas are complete gifts to realtors, because those are awesome reasons to pick up the phone. Hey, just wanted to wish you happy holidays. You know, that's not weird. And that can easily turn into things. Even if you haven't been consistent about doing that, it's not necessarily weird. I would venture to say that most people are going to be like, oh my God, that's so nice, you know? And here's the thing too, when you make that phone call, Rochelle, you don't have to talk about real estate. You don't have to go to occupation. You could call someone and just talk about family. You can call someone and just talk about recreation. You can call someone and just talk about dreams. And maybe what you do in those first few phone calls that you make is that you stay away from the occupation thing so that it doesn't appear as though that's why you're calling, right? And if you are consistent about that, then eventually maybe that's something that will just naturally come up. So I would say in the beginning, maybe try the texting and see how that goes, or the Facebook messaging, or, you know, whatever your mode is that you're most comfortable with. I would highly recommend that at some point you start to fold into that phone calls. Okay. Or maybe it's a handwritten note. Sometimes that's easier. Hey, I was just thinking about you today. When was the last time you guys got a handwritten note in the mail that wasn't an invitation to something? Right? Like a baby shower or a wedding.
I have a friend that still does handwritten notes. And actually that's one of my resolutions, is sending out handwritten cards and notes instead of all the electronic stuff. That was before real estate. It's just because it's so nice. It's like, wow, I got like somebody spent time writing something to me. And it was like, I wanted to incorporate that because I thought it made me feel special. So I was like, I was going to try to do that to my little sphere.
100%. There's a gal that I started coaching about 3 years ago, and every time I saw her sit down with her handwritten cards, I said to myself, man, I need to get better at that. And I'd get mad at myself for not getting better at it. She built a pretty good business. And I would venture to say there were other things that she did as well. There were other forms of lead generation she did, but she was very, very consistent about sending thoughtful note cards to people. And they appreciated it. To your point, Rochelle, it made them feel very special. So, you know, think about the last time you got a handwritten letter in the mail. I don't remember the last time I got one. I mean, unless it was literally an invitation to something. So when I do get one, or one arrives in my mailbox, it gets my attention. Like the junk mail is usually in my trash can before I even walk inside my door, right? I walk through the garage, the junk mail goes in the trash can, and then I bring what looks important inside. And chances are I'm not going to toss something like that. I'm going to open it and look at it. And then I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, that was so sweet. That was really thoughtful. And you know what? I have this one friend who lives in another state. She used to, I think, be an administrative assistant of a real estate team here in Minnesota, and she moved somewhere down south. And now she runs a business where they can create cards and you can send them to your clients. And she took a picture of my grandkids and created a card and sent it to me. And I'm in real estate. I knew exactly what she was doing. She was showing me her card, her product, hoping, you know, that I would have a conversation with her about it. But I got to tell you, seeing my grandkids on a super cute little card, I was like, oh my gosh. And so I immediately reached out to her and said, tell me more. It didn't bother me that she was also incorporating her business, because she also included something that was very thoughtful and knew would pull at my heartstrings, right? So anyway, just think about that. What else? What other sorts of hesitations or fears do you guys have around calling your sphere? Those two that you guys just mentioned are probably two of the biggest ones.
I'm not sure if it's a fear per se, but kind of going off of what Rochelle said, I actually end up using Facebook Messenger most often to communicate with people. And I don't know if I don't know if this is the right word to say, but better than texting in that usually I have actual back and forth conversations. Using that, I guess I was mostly going to ask, what are your thoughts, texting, Facebook messaging versus calling?
Great question. And thank you for sharing that, Rachel. I'm trying so hard not to mix up the Rochelle and Rachel today. So far I've been successful. And it's so interesting because you guys joined within like a week of each other. So my answer to that is do what works. Do what's comfortable. I would rather have you guys do what's comfortable because the chances of you doing it are much greater than not doing it at all, right? With that being said, I will also say nothing replaces a phone call. It just doesn't. I mean, it just doesn't. So maybe that's something that you work your way up to so that it doesn't feel. And also too, I think you just need to go into this knowing that there are maybe going to be some like awkward moments. But guys, I want you to, what I try to do when I find myself in a situation where I'm like, I really don't want to do this, right? It feels really uncomfortable or awkward or, whatever. I always try and flip the script and put myself in their shoes, right? So here's what I want you guys to consider, and I want you to ask yourselves. If you had a friend who just became a dentist or a roofer or sold cars, okay, whatever the case may be, and they called you out of the blue, you hadn't heard from them in years, and they said, hey, Rachel, this is Erin Duckworth. How are you? Just wanted to let you know some exciting news. I'm working at Ford Motors now, and I'm selling cars. So just thought I would put that bug in your ear in case you're looking at maybe buying a new car this year. Would that upset you? Like, even if you hadn't heard from them in a while, would that upset you? Likely not. So why are we assuming that it's going to upset them, right? Likely not. Now, if every single time you called them, it was to let you know I'm working at Ford Motors, do you want to buy a car? Then what's going to happen? They're going to start avoiding your phone call. Well, it's Rachel calling again about a car, right? So you have to mix it up. It can't just always be about real estate, but sometimes it's okay if it is. Okay? So I want you guys to look at it from that perspective. I always ask myself before I pick up the phone, what is the absolute worst thing that can happen? And the answer is maybe a second or two of awkwardness. And is that going to ruin the rest of my day? Probably not. Probably not. Okay. All right. I feel like we spent a lot of time on that one. So we're going to keep moving. I think. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to talk about know the tools. All right. So hopefully you guys have been spending some time in command, or if you're new to us, you're paying attention to the training calendar and you're getting to know command. Or if you've been with us for a while, Jeff, I'm not picking on you, but I'm going to use myself as an example because, when command came out, I was a seasoned agent and I was used to doing things a certain way and I didn't need this tech, right? Because I'm not like a super techie person. I'm just going to keep doing things the way that I've always done them. And sometimes that's fine and it's okay. However, I will also say that, if you just took 30 minutes a week, found 30 minutes a week, heck, even if you just took and found 15 minutes a week to just go in and play around in command, there are tools in there that are going to make and streamline your business so much easier. It's going to get you in front of more people with less effort and less time. And yesterday I had time blocked 2 hours to prepare to teach to you guys today. And my son Cole has 2 buyers right now and he needed to write 2 offers. And I had to go into command because I don't like to call Katie and Lisa on the weekends and, show him how to get in to the documents and write that stuff. And I don't get in and do that stuff a lot anymore because my husband's running the real estate team. But so at first I was a little irritated. I'm going to have to spend like an hour or so with him to hold his hand and show him how to do this. And then I'm like, once I got in there, by the time I was done, I felt so empowered because it forced me to have to go in there and play around and get to know it. And now, like if he were to come to me today or 2 weeks from now and say, hey, mom, need some help? I'd be like, no problem. Because I know exactly where to go and what to do. So I get that things can be really uncomfortable in the tech world if tech doesn't come naturally to you. But guys, it's not going to come naturally to you until you get in there and play around a little bit. So we have lots and lots of tools for you guys to tap into in order for you to be successful. So I'm not going to launch into a bunch of these right now because we as a market center offer a myriad of classes around all of this. The point I want to make with you guys right now is make sure you're paying attention to the training calendar. If you are or have a need that's not on there, reach out to me, reach out to Lisa. We will get you to the right resource, or we will, hit pause and stop what we're doing to show you ourselves. Fair enough? Okay, awesome. I don't know why it's doing that. Hang on, guys, bear with me. Okay, all right. Next slide here. All right, so Command, as you guys may or may not know, for those who are newer, is your integrated end-to-end Keller Cloud platform for running and growing your business, okay? So Keller Cloud Platform contains critical applets for running and growing your business. It's a tool that will help you manage your database, cultivate your connections, and take leads from contact to closing. And this is what your dashboard looks like, okay? So we're gonna focus on entering contacts into Command while you're in Ignite. And your goal should be to enter 7 to 10 contacts a day, okay, into Command. If you guys have not started that yet, look for a class on the calendar or reach out to Lisa. It's very easy. It's very simple to do. Okay, so we want to make sure that you're entering those contacts into Command because then we ultimately want to help you connect them to smart plans in order to stay engaged with those contacts within those touch campaigns. Okay, so you'll learn more about those plans in the lead generation learning module as we go through Ignite. Okay, so let's see here. Do you guys all know how to log into your Command? Give me a thumbs up if you do. Okay, so everyone knows how to log into Command. So you guys have all been in there and taken a peek at least. All right. We're moving on to database. Start with your sphere. Okay, we've talked a lot about our sphere and why we start our database with our sphere, right? Because people who know us, like us, and trust us are likely going to want to do business with us, even if we're a brand new agent versus with a complete stranger who's been in the business for a while, okay? So the reason, again, why we put our contacts into Command is because that will turn into a very powerful database that we can connect to our smart plans that will hopefully then in turn produce leads. Okay, so there are scheduling and planning tools in there that will kind of also help do some predictive analytics that will even, our technology is so smart that it will begin to track analytics with regard to your clients and start to predict for you when you need to reach out to them and alert you. Like, do they have someone who's going to graduate high school this year? Things of that nature. So the more information that you put into Command and into your database, the smarter that program becomes for you. So make sure that you guys are filling out the information on your leads as fully as possible. so that the system can help track every interaction that you have with each person in your database, and then can maintain some sort of mind share so that you guys stay top of mind. Okay. All right. Has everyone received a link to the toolkit files? I believe Lisa sent that out in her email to you. Okay. Yes. You can also find it in the closed Facebook group. Okay.
I don't think I did. Bold Facebook. Okay.
Not the bold Facebook, the Ignite Facebook.
Ignite. Okay. Ignite Facebook page. All right.
Yep. So you guys are going to want to have a printed copy of the toolkit and access to the files electronically if you can. Okay. All right. So the items that are on the slide there are in your toolkit. So you're going to want to review those as you have time. And I'm picking up the pace a little bit here, guys, because, you know, I get a little chatty and sometimes I get behind. But these are all aids and resources for you that you're going to want to check out. Okay. All right. So Spark learning modules. Okay. Ignite consists of learning modules and daily success habits. The first 2 weeks of Ignite are called Spark because they are there to help you find your first piece of business. Okay. So what you guys can expect to learn in each module. So under Fuel Your Career, that module will provide an overview of Spark that includes general models that we'll be using and the tools that you'll need. Okay. The lead generation model, that session will provide an overview of lead generation as the foundation of a successful real estate business. Remember, without a lead, we're unemployed. So that is your foundation. It will cover how to lead generate and why lead generation is our #1 priority. We talked that to death this morning. All right, understand scripts. By the end of this module, you'll know the benefits of using powerful scripts and we'll have practiced using scripts. Set up your database and feed it. Okay, we call this your data bank because it really truly is your bank account to your business and we need to be feeding it daily. Okay, so we will focus on the 3 levels of the millionaire database and work on developing one of your very own. And then set goals that matter is all about getting a meaningful goal, learning to use the 411, and applying the 80-20 principle to achieve your goals. So some of you may wonder, well, what the heck's a 411? And Lisa, I see you're on here. Is Megan teaching her 411 class this week? She's checking the calendar. I was with Megan yesterday, and I think she's teaching her 411 class at some point this month. You're muted still, Lisa.
Thank you. So yeah, Megan's teaching her 411 this Wednesday. So the 24th from 1 to 2, same link that you're on. And Megan's a phenomenal teacher, especially when it comes to all things Keller Williams and all things command. So if you have time, make sure that you make that class. Otherwise, we will record it and put it on the closed Facebook group as well.
Thank you, Lisa. Okay, so make sure that you guys can attend that class if you want or watch the recording later. So deliver your value proposition. This module, you'll find your value to the client and develop script for delivering your value proposition. And then find and win the buyer. That's a session that will teach you how to find buyers and then take the buyer opportunity from contact to closing. And then working with sellers. That session mirrors the previous session on buyers, but instead, obviously, it focuses on sellers and those opportunities from contact to close. Okay. Elementals of learning modules. Again, Lisa, guys, this is, again, Spark is new to me. I believe this we're going to be going over on our second session of Ignite.
Yeah, so this is really just setting up expectations for you guys so that you know what classes are coming up in elementals. And so for those of you that are used to the old version of Ignite, it used to be just one session. It's now split up into 2. So Erin, maybe you already mentioned this, but Spark is, there's 2 courses. So Spark and Elementals. So Spark is really meant to get you that first client. And then once you have that first client or several clients, hopefully, right? Once you have that first client, hopefully you've converted them. And then Elementals is going to run you through the entire contract to close. And so I would say if during Spark you have that first client and you're needing some of this information in Elementals before we're providing it to you, be reaching out to your transaction coach if you were enrolled in that program and if you have a coach. Otherwise, if it's something that you're interested in and you weren't automatically enrolled into transaction coaching, we can definitely set you up with a coach as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa.
Mhm.
Okay. So guys, this is the meat and potatoes of Ignite. This is the daily 10-4, and these are powerful habits that we're going to focus on and that you guys are going to be doing daily while taking Ignite. Okay. So these are the things that successful agents do every single day throughout their careers. And guys, you never retire from this list unless you're getting out of real estate. So whether you're a brand new agent or you're an agent who has been in the business for a while, these are habits that you want to be doing daily in order to, set yourself up for a sustainable business. Okay. So they are the core of Spark, and they're going to be the things that you do or the habits that you create to help you get your first appointment. Okay. So we've talked a lot about your sphere today, and that's where you're going to start. You already have people in your phone. What you're going to do, if you haven't done it already, is you're going to add them to your database, and then you're going to use that as an opportunity to call them and connect with them or reconnect with them or text them or Facebook message them. Again, if you guys feel like you need to kind of work your way into this slowly, that's fine. I just want you to be doing some kind of activity where you're reaching out to your sphere. Okay. So what you're first going to do is you're going to add 10 new contacts to your database every day. Okay. And you can start with the contacts in your phone, adding them into your database if you want. I mean, a couple of you had 400 or so. I think Jeff had nearly 1,000. Some of you had less, and that's okay. Think about who you're in contact with or communication with on a semi-regular basis. They're going to go into your database. Okay. So 10 people into your database a day, and then you want to speak with 10 people in your database. Okay. Whether that's on the phone, again, through text, whatever, but you want to reach out and try to elicit a conversation with at least 10 people a day. And then 10 notes to people you've recently contacted. Now, I know some of you are excited about doing the notes, some of you not so much. To me, I don't mind writing them. To me, it's like, it's going to take me an hour probably to write 10 notes. Guys, if you're not a note writer, then fine. Again, send a text or do something in Facebook. The point is reach out. Okay. And then the last thing that we want you guys to do of the 10-4 is to preview 10 homes per week. Okay. You want to get in and get to know about homes, especially if you're new to real estate, right? How are you going to learn about homes until or unless you start going through them, right? When I was a brand new agent and I walked through a master bath, I didn't necessarily know to look for jets in the tub to see if it was a Whirlpool tub or a jetted tub, right? There are just different things that you're going to learn and pick up on the more time you spend inside homes. So make sure that the previewing homes is a part of your everyday activities. Nothing will help you get to know the market better than going and taking a peek at homes. Does everyone know what a preview is? Do I need to explain what a preview is? There's probably some of you who don't understand what that is. If you don't, just raise your hand. Okay, I don't see any hands raised, but I have a feeling there's someone on here who doesn't know what a preview is. So a preview you schedule like you would a showing, except you're just previewing it yourself. You don't necessarily have a buyer with you. It's not a showing. And when you schedule something in showing time, it will ask you to differentiate whether or not it's a preview or a showing. Most agents and sellers will allow you to preview homes. On occasion, you'll get someone who's like, especially with COVID, they don't want people previewing homes. They only want you coming through if you have a qualified buyer. So it may be hit or miss if you try to schedule a preview. Here's another great way of previewing a home without having to schedule a showing. Go to an open house. A lot of the new construction models are open. Go check out new construction models. Jeff is shaking his head. Yes, he wants you to come and check out his new construction.
Aaron, Hey, Aaron,
Yes,
can you schedule a preview for a coming soon home?
you can't.
Cannot, right?
Nope, you can't schedule any
Okay.
kind of viewing. Yep. Good question. All right. So make sure that you're previewing homes, guys. Go to open houses, go to builder models. Sometimes we'll have broker opens where agents will take a listing and hold a broker open. I don't think we've really seen much of that this last year because houses are selling so quickly. But when we're in a more normalized market, when agents put new listings on, sometimes they'll have a lender partner help them sponsor a broker open where they'll provide lunch. Agents will walk through, they'll give an opinion on what they think about the house, price, things of that nature. Okay. So you guys want to make sure that you're doing and recording your daily 10-4 every day. Guys, I promise you, if you just do this, if you just do the daily 10-4 and you're consistent with it, you're going to be setting appointments. It might not be right away, but it's going to happen. The key is being consistent. Okay. You can't attempt to do your daily 10-4 and only do it every once in a while and hope that you're going to see results. You won't. You may on a rare occasion get lucky and shake something loose, but unless you're consistent with this, you're not going to see sustainable results. Okay. All right. Make the most of Spark. How can you make the most of Spark? You want to divide the rest of your day between, remember the graphic where it was grow your business and run your business. If you only spend time on running your business, you get distracted and you don't continue to grow your business, you're eventually going to run out of buyers and sellers. Okay. So when we end here shortly, the remainder of your day isn't time off. Right? Even though sometimes that's tempting because we're independent contractors, we can plug into real estate and unplug from real estate whenever we want to. But you really have to treat and run your real estate business like it's a business. So when we get off our session here in a little bit, it's not time to, take the rest of the afternoon off. There are lots of things that you guys can spend time doing. So it's time to revisit our two core goals for every day. Grow your business, run your business. All right. So some activities that you guys can participate in and engage in throughout the week. Can you guys turn to page 13 in the participant guide? There's going to be some examples. Okay. So we talked about previewing homes already. Did you guys see that on your example? Okay. Read the MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Does everyone know what that is? Is there anyone who doesn't know what that is? Rachel, I know you have a copy. I don't know if anyone else on the call has a copy. If you don't, you can get one at the Market Center. We can send you one. Lisa, how much are they? $11? $12? Something like that.
Yeah, we've got them for $12. And then for those of you that are interested in some of the other books in the Keller Inc. book club, we do have some of those as well for purchase for usually much cheaper than you can find on Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, there's no markup from us, guys. The cost we pay is the cost that's handed down to you. So I'm going to turn on my screen really quick because I always have my MRA sitting right by me. You guys see it? A lot of sun in the background. You guys see it? I like this one because I don't know if you can see this, but it's tabbed. I love the tabbed version. I had to order this online. We don't have these in the Market Center, but so the first tab is fundamentals. Second tab is Mythbusters. Third tab is Think. Fifth tab is MRA goals, earn, economic model, org chart. So I like the tabbed one because if I'm coaching somebody around something particular, I can get right to where I need to, right? But you can be reading the MRA model or, to Lisa's point, any of our other books that we have in our library. Just have to raise your hand, let the office know, that you'd like it, and then they'll bill you on your next month's invoice. Okay. All right. So other things you can be doing: continue to contact your sphere and update the information in command. I am going to challenge you guys to make at least 10 phone calls to your sphere today. 10. Okay. Leaving voicemails don't count. If you choose to text instead of call or Facebook Messenger instead of call, it's okay. But I am going to challenge you guys to reach out to at least 10 people in your sphere today. And then I want you to make sure that they're in your database and command. Okay. I want to get you guys into the habit of doing this daily. And then you can watch the command courses on Connect. You can shadow an agent. There's lots of different things that you can do. I know, Rochelle, we might be on the calendar to get together this week, it sounds like, for a coaching session. So you let me know what that looks like for you. But reach out to your transaction coach if you have one. Look at our training calendar, hop on a training. There's lots of different things that you can be doing. Okay. What other sorts of questions do you guys have? Do you guys feel prepared with the Ford script? It's very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. It's literally just having a conversation with people. Do you guys feel prepared to reach out to at least 10 people today? Yeah? Okay, here's what I would really love it. You guys would make this team leader's day. You'll make my week is if you guys start engaging on the Ignite closed Facebook group that Lisa has created for you. And let's celebrate your wins. I would love to hear how it's going. I'm going to monitor that Facebook page, as does Lisa. I hope that you guys use it as a tool to, post questions. If it's 9 o'clock at night and you have a question, post it on there. Chances are maybe one of us will see it. But also too, if you had a really great conversation with someone in your sphere, like share that win with us. You'd be surprised at the inspiration that creates in others when they see you doing it and having some success with it. Okay. So now we're gonna recap before we let you guys go and cut you loose for the day. Okay. So I like to recap with some ahas to achievement. So, the goal of our time together was to help you guys think today. And hopefully that thinking then leads to, it's going to make you feel a certain way. And if you feel a certain way, hopefully that's going to cause you to want to act and to use what you've learned in your Ignite session today to help you achieve the big why that we started with. Okay. So I want you guys to take about 5 minutes and I want you to write down some ahas for today. Okay. And based on those 4 categories that are there on the screen. So how was your thinking changed? What ideas or mindsets are new? Okay. Then I want you to write down some ahas around what do you feel differently about after our session today? What maybe spoke to you and was meaningful for you today? Then I want you to think about how your behaviors are going to be different going forward. What actions will you take going forward? And then the last thing I want you guys to think about and write down some thoughts on are what tools, models, or systems will you definitely use, and how will they make you accountable? So take about 5 minutes. I want you to jot down some thoughts on each of those categories. And then we're going to share them. So everyone has to write something.
Aaron?
Yes, sir.
I may have my wires crossed. I thought this started at 9.
It started at 8, Kelly.
Starts at
And I'm not at all surprised that might have been confusing to you. I normally have my national team leader call at 11, but because of all of the storms that happened in Texas last week,
right.
It was canceled. So my session started at 8. Every other Ignite session will start at 9. So that's probably why you got confused.
Yeah. And Lisa, I did not receive links for this week. I don't know how much that matters. It's the same link to get into the Zoom, but I don't know if there are attachments I might need for this week.
Yeah, so I can send you the email that I sent out to everybody on Friday. And Kelly, I may have missed including you on that because I know we were kind of getting you signed up later last week. So I'll send that over to you. And then also I did invite you to the KWPR closed Facebook group, the Ignite closed Facebook group. So take a look on your Facebook. All of the links are under files in there. And all of the student materials are under announcements on there. So just
Okay.
if you can't find it or you need help, just touch base with me after the class. But I'll send
Well,
you that email right now.
There's a good chance I'll call you.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thanks, ladies.
Therefore, you bet. Okay. So I'd like to hear at least, something from each one of you. Who wants to be our first volunteer on sharing a few of your ahas from today? You guys can pick the category. I don't care which one. It's going to get really awkward if I have to start picking on people.
I guess I'll go first. I don't really I didn't have a whole ton of time to kind of think and process everything, but you have me thinking about calling the sphere, just picking up the phone and calling, kind of like how you're saying, would you, what's the worst thing that could happen? And maybe not focusing so much on, hey, guess what? I'm in real estate, but focus on maybe starting, for me, since I don't do the phone calls very often, except to my like really close sphere, it would be like maybe just starting the connections, maybe not starting with jumping in on that unless it broached itself, but just, hey, how are you? One of my New Year's resolutions was to connect more with people. And so I was thinking about you today and just wanted to reach out and see how you were doing. And then just kind of maybe just not even discussing the real estate piece at all. So it wasn't like, so it doesn't seem like it's, oh, she's calling because she wants, me to buy a house or sell a house. You know what I mean? So that idea kind of had me thinking differently. When the first one, how has your thinking changed? It's kind of just getting me to think about that in a little different way. Maybe setting up those connections before I start going, hey. But if it broached itself, yeah, I'm actually doing real estate now. Maybe just kind of putting that seed, I guess, instead of making it the focus of the conversation.
Absolutely. I love that you use the analogy of a seed, because I often refer to these phone calls and these contacts and connections. It literally is like planting your crop. We're farmers. Okay. We're planting our seed for the year right now. Right. And as long as you water that seed and tend to that seed and take care of that seed, which is, tending to your relationships, reaching out to people, watering those relationships, letting them know that you care, I promise you guys, quite literally, you're going to wake up one morning and you're going to have a full harvest, and you're going to be so busy that you do not know what to do with yourself. But you're not going to be if you're not consistent. So I love that. What else do you guys have?
Well, Rochelle, is that how you say it? I think when she made comments earlier about texting, it just made, and plus another conversation I've had recently, that her generation, that is how they communicate. So I think for us older, more seasoned people, we probably need to incorporate that some, especially if we're dealing with the younger generations. So that was a bit enlightening to me. And also something, I need this Ignite just to, and something you said, Aaron, about just getting back into command and playing around and figuring it out and making sure I'm entering my contacts there.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up, Kelly. I mean, guys, really, it's about creating habits. I shared with you earlier, I've got my habit every morning of wishing people happy birthday. Now, do I necessarily see immediate results from that? No, but I got to believe that, I'm staying front of mind with people. That takes me 5 minutes. Calling your 10 people or reaching out to 10 people every single morning shouldn't take you more than, 20 or 30 minutes, unless you get caught on a long phone call, right? Entering them then into command, into your database, you should be able to accomplish all of that. You're reaching out, you're 10 for adding people to your database within the first 2, at the most 3 hours of your day. So imagine you got the hardest part, the growth part of your real estate business done in the first 2 to 3 hours of your day. Guess what you have? You have the rest of the day to go on appointments or to, do whatever you want with, right? Hopefully it's going on appointments, or it's playing around in command and getting to know that a little bit better. So that's why Gary Keller says, eat the frog in the morning. get this part of your day out of the way in the first 2 to 3 hours of the day. And then the rest of the day is time you get to spend on things that you really enjoy and you don't want to avoid. What else? What other ahas?
Going back to being that person, I like that you did say, you know what, you can call and say, I am in real estate, because I think back of people who've gone out and pursued different careers and popped back into my life and said, I'm a car, I work at a car dealership, I'm a salesperson, this and that. And genuinely, if these are good people and I have them in my life, I will always remember that in the back of my head, that so-and-so is doing this as part of their new business now. So yeah, it is okay to say that I am in real estate, because hopefully people like me and think of me at the end of the day when they want to buy a new house or sell their house. So yeah, that's what I got an aha moment today.
I love that you said that, Pick, because I would venture to say that everyone on this Zoom call right now wants to help and see the people that they know and love succeed, right? So if I'm working for Ford Motor and I called you a week ago and said I'm working for Ford Motor, and all of a sudden your car breaks down and you need a new car and you love Fords, you're likely going to want to call me because you want to help me. You want to see me succeed. People want to help you. People want to see you succeed. And my husband's a high D. He's very direct. Sometimes that approach works well with people. Like, hey, I'm calling for a reason, and here's the reason why I'm calling. And here's another great script that you guys can use where it does introduce real estate and is more of a direct conversation. So Kelly, you're going to role play with me. Ring, ring. You're still muted. I know I just put you on the spot. You're going to role play with me. Can you unmute yourself, Kelly? Okay.
I was trying, but technology.
All right.
Hello.
Hi, Kelly. It's Erin Duckworth with Keller Williams. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
Oh, good. Hey, listen, I have a very specific reason for my call today. I'm only going to take a few minutes of your time, Kelly. Is that all right?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, awesome. Hey, listen, I know it's been about 3 years since we closed on your property. I don't know how much, or how closely you pay attention to what's happening in the market. Obviously those of us who are in the market have our finger on the pulse, right? But I know that you're in medicine. So you probably spend the bulk of your time learning new surgery techniques and on your patients, right? So,
yeah.
So here's what's happening in the market, Kelly. Here's the reason for my call. Interest rates are an absolute all-time low. And the other interesting part of the market that we find ourselves in right now is there are 5 buyers to every 1 seller. Okay. Here's what that means for sellers. What that means is they're getting top dollar for their home. Their homes are selling in less time and then oftentimes $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 over list price. Kelly, even if you haven't thought about selling recently, if you are able to get $10,000, $20,000, now I can't guarantee that, of course, but if you are able to get top dollar for your home right now and transition into another home at a really low interest rate, is that something that would interest you?
Wow. You're right. I haven't really thought about it, but it is intriguing. I'd like to talk to my wife and at least maybe have a conversation about the possibility.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for taking a second to think about that. If after you speak with the wife, it sounds like something that you might just want to learn more about, I am more than happy to do a free market analysis for you. No strings attached. Just because you do one doesn't necessarily mean that you have to list the house. But what sellers are pleasantly surprised by in this market is they're able to get a lot more for their home than they were a year ago or 2 years ago. And so sometimes it just makes sense. And you know what else, Kelly, with COVID happening, there are a lot of people that are reassessing their finances and their financial situation. And some are just making the decision to be a little bit more conservative and maybe downsizing. So if after you guys have had a conversation, you think that this is something that you might want to learn more about, I would love to be the person that helps walk you through that. And if you guys decide that maybe now isn't the right time, if you happen to come across a friend or a family member that you think might benefit from this, will you do me a favor and keep me in mind?
Oh, of course. Yeah. We appreciate what you did for us a few years ago.
Oh, thank you so much, Kelly. I hope the family's doing well and that you guys stay healthy, and let's talk again soon.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Okay. Doable, guys. That's a more direct, right to the point. I'm providing factual information. Why wouldn't I want to let people that I care about know how low interest rates are right now? That could be extremely advantageous to them. Why would I not want to let people that I know and care about, why wouldn't I want to let them know that their homes are probably worth more now today than they have been in the last 10 years? I'm calling you because I care about you. I think it's important that you have this information, even if you're not interested in doing anything right now. Does that make sense? Okay. Any other ahas that you guys want to share from today? Okay. Here's what I'd like. Here's my hope. My hope is that you're going to spend other parts of today looking at your script book that either Lisa has emailed to you or you can find in the closed Facebook group. Okay. My hope is that your goal is to accomplish your 10-4 every day during Ignite. And as I stated earlier, we don't really ever retire from these activities that are on the screen in front of you right now. They're always activities that we're going to be doing. Okay. So my hope is you guys are going to lead generate. We've uncovered some motivations today. We're going to script practice. Take some time to find someone to role play with. That could be your spouse, your significant other, could be your sister. It could be another agent in the office. Maybe there's someone who you've connected with in the office that you want to role play with. But take out your script packet and I want you to, say some of those scripts out loud until they start to become natural. People all the time, when I do script role play, say, Erin, can I just record you? I wish I could just record you. Or I wish you could just be like a mic in my ear when I'm on these appointments. Here's the thing, guys. I don't do every script perfect every single time I use one. And I have been using them for so long that they have I don't look at them as scripts anymore. They're just a part of the conversations that I have every day. And the reason why they roll off my tongue is because I use them, right? And so scripting for people who aren't used to using scripts can seem very intimidating and sometimes a little bit scary. But the more you use them and the more you practice them, the more natural they'll become and the easier they're just gonna, roll off your tongue. So I'm gonna highly encourage you guys to spend some time doing some role playing and some script practicing. And then once you've done that and you feel confident with a script or two, I'm not asking you to go in and memorize a bunch, but find a script or two that feels comfortable to you. And then I want you to make your phone calls or reach out via Facebook Messenger or text. And I would love, you'll be team leader's pet if on the closed Facebook group, you share with me how it went. Okay, sound good? Do you guys feel better equipped to tackle this today? Do you feel like you're at least taking away a nugget or two from today's Ignite session? Okay, awesome. Guys, I am super excited for you and I'm so proud of you for committing, to yourselves and your businesses and taking Ignite. It is a big commitment. But again, I promise you, if you just stick to attending the classes and your daily 10-4, 90 days from now, every single one of your businesses are going to be on fire. And I cannot wait to celebrate that with you. Okay? Have a great rest of your day, you guys. I so appreciate you spending your time with me.
Thank you, Erin.
Thank you.
Thanks, Erin.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, everybody. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Have a good day.
Hi, bye-bye. Bye.
Lisa, do I need to log off in a certain way so that it saves the recording?
Yeah, so if you go to end meeting, there's a little window that will pop up that will say that your recording is converting. Just don't shut that. Just leave it open. Don't close out of that window.
Okay, so click end meeting, but don't close out of that window that says it's converting.
Right.
Okay, and then eventually will that window close itself?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Jeff.